and welcome back to another vlog. Last time I showed y'all how I designed my color palette wall art inspired by some of our favorite classic video games. Since then, I've sent those off to a local printer called Print Austin, and I got them back and I wanted to show them to y'all before I framed them, because once they go into a glass frame, it's really hard to film or photograph them. So I wanted to show y'all how they came out. So we've got Mega Man 2 here. So the colors are super vibrant. Really like how this one turned out. I think this one is probably my favorite of the three. And then we've got Zelda 1. This one is a little interesting because I actually adjusted it. The last two, so level 8 and 9 here, I adjusted those colors and then I sent the original file to the printer. So that's totally on me. It is a little bit out of my way, so if I happen to need another thing printed, then I'll update this and reframe it. But I'm just gonna live with it for now, just knowing that I mixed up these two here. So that's just the thing I'll have to live with, but I doubt many other people will probably even realize, but it still looks great. I really like how vibrant this green and the blue came out. It looks really nice. And then the last one is for Pokemon Red and Blue. So this one, really love how it turned out as well. Great vibrancy in all of these colors. This one was a fun one, kind of like Mega Man, because it has so much more variety to the colors in this palette. So I really like this, and this indigo is so saturated, and it just is like looks so good. So I'm really happy with how all of these turned out. So the next step is just going to be to frame them up. I had all of these printed as 11 by 14s, and I went ahead and got frames. I actually got white frames because I want the focus to be on the palette itself, so I felt like a black frame would feel really heavy unless it was a thin frame, which a lot of the thin frames that I was finding looked really cheap and plasticky. So I went with a white frame to really help draw the focus to the palettes themselves, and I'm gonna go frame those up and I'll show you all what that looks like. These are gonna go into our guest bathroom downstairs. One thing I realized I didn't talk about at all last time was kind of how this design came to be. So I've got all three of the final prints here, and you notice in the last video I showed how the color picking and everything, but I didn't really talk about like how I settled on 9 colors for each palette. And you know what the overall design of these was going to be. So I did mention last time that I have been working a lot with different color palettes for my day job. So everything from building brand palettes to ensuring colors are accessible. So I've just been staring at essentially this like block here a whole lot, because I've got a whole bunch of these, one for each color in every palette that I'm building. So I kind of was building a lot of those and thought it would be fun, you know, like what if I take a classic game and kind of pick some colors out of that and build a little palette for that game. So the first one I actually started with was Zelda 1, and this is actually how I came to settle on the 9 colors for the palettes, and that was because Zelda 1 is so easy. It was kind of like, okay, a great example of different colors was in each of the levels. So that's how I got to the 9 grid, because there's 9 levels in Zelda 1. Then next, and Zelda 1 is a very important game to both me and my partner. So next I wanted to do Mega Man 2, because this is a good game for him, and so I initially also was going to do the Robot Master stages, but there's only 9, and so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do like one of the Wily stages as the 9th block, I don't know. So I just asked him because he's much more familiar with Mega Man 2 than I am, and he was like, why don't you just do all of the weapons, because then you can have them in the stage select like order, where the middle one for Mega Man's square is just the Mega Buster, the like default weapon. So I thought that was a great suggestion, and that's what I went with. And then for the last game, we both are big Pokemon fans, so went with Pokemon Red and Blue, and decided to do the gyms because they are all of different types. So I could pull from the types which colors to use. And for the last one, of course, there's only 8 gyms, so the last one I went with Indigo Plateau, since that's where you fight the Elite Four, and it's got a colored name, so like Indigo just kind of worked really well. So that's kind of how all these came to be, and I'm really happy with all of these. I think they're gonna look really great once I get them in their frames, so I'm gonna go start on that now. Alright, and here are the final pieces all framed and hung up in our guest bathroom. The lighting in here is terrible, but you get the idea. I think they look really great. Well, I guess that's it for this project. Very happy with how it came out. Kind of hard to show it all at once, but I think it's a nice thing to focus on when you first walk into the guest bathroom. Alright, so today is 4/20 and our local garden center is having a pot sale. So they've got a bunch of discounts on planters and things. So I'm gonna go check it out and see what all they have, and I also need to pick up a couple other things there too. So yeah, I'm gonna take y'all with me. We're gonna go down to Garden 17. And if you have seen Queer Eye Austin edition, I guess the latest season now, it was actually featured a little bit in there too. So it's a really cool place, and I'm excited to share it with y'all. Alright, I just got back, and here is what I picked up. Most of the planters that were on sale were large, but I found this adorable little turtle guy. I'm going to put a little snake plant in there, and then I needed another planter for ZZ plants I have. Got some potting soil, and then I got these caladiums for our front porch. So yeah, I'm excited to go put all these things together and go plant everything, and yeah, it's a fun little trip. And here are the 2 plants in their new homes. Ah, they look so cute. So cute. I think they both work really well. I love the turtle with the snake plant. It looks adorable. And the blue and the ZZ top. ZZ top, that's my name for the ZZ plant, is ZZ top. It's just so cute. And I've also just potted the caladiums, however you say it, onto the front porch planters. So these are really pretty, very pretty colors. And then I've got the other one over here. It's a little bit bigger than that one. Nice, pretty leaf here. So yeah, now we've got our porch planters all set. Alright, my last project was repotting my snake plant. The big one here was dealing with this rotted leaf. Started to have like blisters, discoloration, getting a little mushy. So I went and investigated, and there's a little bit of root rot on this guy. Oh, that's my glove. A little bit of root rot. This is all very mushy. Came right apart. So I took that out and repotted with fresh soil for the rest. But the rest of the roots all looked good. So just got done with that. But hopefully this will be okay now. I'm hoping that I won't see any more issues with the leaves, and it'll just kind of continue to stay healthy. So this weekend we stopped by a pop-up event for Piroshky Piroshky. It's a bakery based out of Seattle that specializes in piroshkis. So I've got the, let's see, this is the bacon, hash brown, egg and cheese piroshki here. So I can't show all of them because they need to be in the freezer or the fridge, so it's kind of hard to show all of them at once, but we got a whole bunch of them. It comes with this sheet here that shows some of the more popular options they have, and I've circled the ones that are that we ordered. And the only downside is that this sheet doesn't show all of the options. So if you are doing this, make sure to like pull up the website so you can see what all the images look like, because that's how you're going to differentiate them. They're not actually labeled, so luckily they're easy to tell apart from just like the images. But you can see we have one up here that is not shown on here, so just a tip if you do order from one of their pop-ups. And then the back side just shows the ingredients list, storage instructions, and reheating instructions. So that is all super helpful to have. And it comes in this gigantic box that you see over here. One thing I would suggest if you do one of their pop-up events that is not in like the Seattle area is get there right at the start of the pickup time. Just because it comes in this giant box that has some ice packs in it to keep everything cool, and if you get there a little later like we did, you're gonna have to rush home and throw everything into the freezer. So definitely recommend getting there right at the start of pickup time. But I'm really excited. We've been wanting to try this place. They've had a couple of pop-ups in town, but this is the first one we've been able to actually order anything from before they sold out. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this. It looks so good.